welcome back to my channel. This is Detroit AllyCat, and I am so happy to bring to you Spooky Saturday, which is going to be on Spooky Sunday, just for this week. I haven't done a paranormal spooky little thing in a while, so I thought that we would just get together and talk about some good old-fashioned scary fun. Without further ado, let's get spooky. So if you haven't noticed, I am actually using my webcam. I have a camera, but I've got all these new high-tech functions, and they zoom in, they zoom out. It drives me crazy, and I feel like it kind of drives you guys crazy too. So I am going to use my webcam today just because I feel like it's easier for you to watch. I don't know if you can see me as good, but here I am. So just be patient. Like I said, it's taking some time to get used to all of this camera equipment. I've never actually dealt with any of it before. I just decided that I wanted to have a YouTube channel, and then I got all this stuff, and boom. So I just wanted to show you this. I like crystals, but I'm not like obsessed with crystals as I see some people who are into paganism or witchcraft are, but this crystal right here is called selenite, and I don't know what it is about it. It is like my new favorite crystal. My first favorite crystal is tiger's eye, but this one, it does like, it does like music vibrations, energy vibrations. It glows different lights when you hit like little lights in it. It's so cool. But I digress. Let's talk about what I want to talk about today. So if you didn't know, I live in Michigan, and a lot of the places here are haunted in Michigan. We have this state is known for hauntings. And the island that I'm going to take you to is one of the most famous islands in the United States of America. I actually have gone to this island. It's called Mackinac Island, and it's a huge tourist attraction for us Michiganders or everybody. And it's very much like going into the past when you go into the island. To this day, you cannot drive a car on the island, and I'm not quite sure what the reasoning for that is. I guess they say that the island isn't big enough for it. There's just not enough room for vehicles, so it's just carriages and horses, which is really cool actually, and it's a very beautiful island. I'm going to show you where it is. If you are from Michigan, you know I'm sticking up this little hand. Michigan is in the form of a mitten, and Mackinac is right up here. You have to take a boat to get there. There's actually no bridge that will take you to the Mackinac Island, so you have to take a ferry. So when you go to the Mackinac Island, they have a lot of tourist attractions, like they do a lot of Civil War reenactments. They have a grand hotel. You can go all around the island and have carriage rides, and it's a very beautiful island, and it's a lot of fun for many different reasons. Michigan is a very beautiful state, but I actually found out that the island has a very dark history, and along with this dark history, they have some paranormal experiences that go with it. So I'm sure a lot of you are acquainted with the Salem witch trials. Many of you guys think that that only occurred in Salem, but it actually occurred all over the United States. I don't know if it occurred in other countries, but it did occur in other states. And one of the places that the Salem witch trials happened, and when I say Salem witch trials, I really mean witch trials, was Mackinac Island. In the 1700s, the Mackinac Island had a fort on it, and they had two of the biggest trades on there. was fur trading and fishing. I don't know what made this happen, but at that time they had the Fort Mackinac witch drownings. So the deal with the Fort Mackinac witch drownings is that any witch drownings at that time was that they would put you on an end of a teeter-totter, and if they put you underwater and you lived, you were a witch and they would kill you. But if they put you underwater and you died, then you were innocent and your name was known throughout the village that you were not a witch. But there really wasn't any like win-win out of this solution. If you were accused of being a witch, you basically were going to be like drowned. And that happened there at Fort Mackinac. And they actually have 8 people that were killed in this. They have a graveyard area for these witches that were found to be innocent. And I actually had no idea that that happened in Fort Mackinac, but it did. And that started off the island's history in a pretty gruesome way. They say to this day, if you look out into the lake, you can see someone flailing around in the lake. And they say it's the ghosts of the women that were drowned because they were suspected to be witches. So those are the ghosts of the lake around the island. Around 1812, there were 2 battles in the Mackinac Island. And I believe the reason for this is that there was a Native American establishment there, and it was the Ottawa tribe. I hope I'm saying that right. So in 1812, the English decided that they were basically going to take control of the island, and for whatever reason, it led to a lot of Native Americans being murdered and killed, and they had battles. So on the island, there is a huge Native American burial ground. Now, I don't know very much about Native American burial grounds, but I do know that their burial grounds are supposed to be sacred, and if you consecrate their burial grounds, then there are consequences that can happen. They very much do say on the island that they can still hear the tribes in the background in the distance, and they can feel that there are evil spirits on the island because of the innocent blood that was shed. And so that is another part of the paranormal hauntings that occur on the island. There are other spots as well. The island has a multitude of hauntings on it. One of the nicest spots on the island today is the Grand Hotel, and the Grand Hotel is still standing to this day. From the very beginning, the Grand Hotel had problems. In the beginning, when they started constructing the Grand Hotel, there were various accidents. I believe 2 of the people that were helping put the hotel together actually died, and because of that, they say that within the first couple months of the hotel being put up, there was bloodshed on the ground. So now you have witch drownings. You have a Native American burial ground where lots of blood was shed, and now you have a hotel where within the first couple days of it being constructed, that there were people that died while it being constructed, which I wouldn't think it was a coincidence. I think that it's not such a coincidence that with this bad energy going on in the island that this would happen. So when they put up the Grand Hotel, there were various other things that happened too. They say that there is an evil entity that walks the Grand Hotel, and it's a dark spirit with glowing red eyes. They say that if you go out around midnight, you can see him walking the hallways. I don't know if that is supposed to be like an angry Native American spirit or what, but it is one of the many entities that are in the hotel. So with the entity that walks around with that was black with red glowing eyes, one of the reports of what happened was that somebody that works on the theater stage, because they have a theater stage inside the Grand Hotel, it was reported he was working on the stage and the entity rushed him and pushed him down, and he was knocked out for 2 days. And he woke up, told them what happened, and he left, and he was never seen from again. So that's how they became aware of the entity. There's also a piano bar in the hotel, and reportedly there is a man that has a top hat that sits at the piano bar and plays, and the man does not work there. So if you ever go to the hotel and you see someone playing at the bar and he's wearing a top hat, there is a chance that you're actually looking at a ghost instead of a real person. They say that you can also hear the music throughout the night of the man playing on the piano, which I think is so red rum, but so very cool. So during the wars, when they were actually fighting over the fort, there was a hospital put up in the island, and basically when you were in a war around that time, it was very common for them to cut off legs and give you whiskey as an anesthetic or liquor to relieve the pain. And so many people had legs amputated outside in this hospital, and it was said that during that time you could hear a lot of screaming and there was a lot of bloodshed. And so they say that when you walk the grounds, you can actually hear people screaming, and it is the ghosts of the soldiers screaming as their legs are being amputated. So around the 1950s, a man named Harvey went to the island, I guess because he was going there because of some kind of a religious group that was going there, and he was known to have a broken heart, and he checked into the Grand Hotel and he took a revolver and he shot himself in the head. And so now it is known that Harvey with the broken heart wanders around the hotel still looking for the love of his life. That's kind of a weird one that I found out while looking up information about the Grand Hotel. The Grand Hotel itself is actually quite beautiful. It's a huge hotel with a very big area that you can sit on the front porch and just look all the way around. They have tried to keep the hotel to look exactly as it did historically. So it just has that really beautiful historic look to it, but it gives you that feeling like you're stepping back in time, and it has like an eerie feeling to it with all of these things. So these are just some of the things that I found out about Mackinac Island, and I think this is kind of a lot, and there are many more reports of many more things that happened on Mackinac Island and the hauntings, but I just thought it was really cool to mention, that this was one of the most haunted areas in Michigan. And I think that a lot of people don't know the history of Mackinac Island, and they just think it's a nice little tourist attraction, but it's actually an area with a lot of bloodshed, the drowning witch trials, and the hospitals of the soldiers with their amputated legs, and the many Native American lives that were slaughtered in order to acquire the island and take control of it. And the hotel in itself is probably, I could do a whole thing on it, but I just wanted to do a quick, short little thing about the hauntings on Mackinac Island. and I hope you really did enjoy my YouTube video today. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how you're doing, tell me if you've been to Mackinac Island, what kind of experiences you've had there. Did you get a creeped out feeling? Did you have any experiences like that? And yeah, so that's it. Have an amazing day, and thank you for watching my channel, and I'll see you next time.